With State Senator Nick Schroer, and we are talking about the issue with Francis, where they paid almost $230,000 to a person who was supposed to be the superintendent, never served a day in the district, never worked one day in the district, but the board decided that they were going to pay him $229,000, I do believe, just pay him almost his whole salary. He never worked a day. Then he was able to go on and get another job. A lot of people up in arms about that. I think the state auditor is looking at it, and there are a lot of efforts to try to find out what's going on. Senator, thank you for taking some time for me. What are your thoughts about this whole thing?
Well, I think it's crazy. This is the second time St. Charles County has had issues with getting rid of superintendents and them running off into the sunset with a lot of money. And in this case, I think from what I know right now, and we're trying to get to the bottom of this and figure out what truly was the cause, it sounds like politics just gone awry. You had a conservative board, Francis Howell, that hired this individual to come on. Before he could even step in foot the first day and start working, he gets fired after the Democrats win the election and take control of the board. I know some of my Democrat friends are saying something was found in his background. That doesn't make sense because he goes and gets another job in Oklahoma right away. They would have the same access to all of the information that's in his background, and the contract wasn't void. He was paid everything that he was due by way of that contract, and this is happening time and time again. We're seeing it in St. Charles County. We're seeing bullying tactics that I firmly believe.
So let me ask you this. They paid him some $229,000, almost $230,000 is what he was paid. He did not work a single day in the district as superintendent. But why would they have to pay him this whole contract? The board is not giving any answers. What do you think? What are you going to try to do to maybe get some answers?
Well, we need transparency, number one. I know the board is refusing to answer a lot of questions from journalists like yourself. And I've had conversations with the state auditor, Scott Fitzpatrick, reached out to Andrew Bailey's office, who we all know now that he's going to the FBI. And once the auditor does his investigations, and I'm hooking him up with a lot of the key people, Republicans, Democrats, parents, taxpayers in St. Charles County, once he makes his assessment and creates this file of what actually went on, then we can take that to the Attorney General and see if legislation is needed or prosecutions need to occur.
Andrew Bailey, he's leaving, going, like you said, to the FBI. Catherine Hanaway coming in. Is it your hope that eventually you can talk to Catherine Hanaway?
I think here, probably during special session or veto session. Today we saw the news break that Donald Trump is saying that we're going to be back in a special session. The governor hasn't commented on it yet, other than he's supportive of the idea of going back in. In my crystal ball, I think more than likely we'll be able to talk to Catherine Hanaway in September during the veto session.
Why do you think that's necessary? I think you had mentioned talking to Andrew Bailey. Right. Had you ever talked to Bailey?
I talked to some of the people in his office, and they said they're evaluating that, the best way to address this, along with the state auditor doing his investigations. So I kind of changed my focus to who's doing the investigation right now, and it's Scott Fitzpatrick. He's hitting the ground running. I know he's making phone calls and trying to set up meetings to determine exactly what happened. To me, it's a waste of taxpayer dollars.
What do you see as what is the biggest question mark for you in this whole deal?
Why? That's my biggest question. Why are we voiding a contract, paying somebody out everything that they were owed, claiming that it was for a certain reason, and the taxpayers are the ones on the hook? Where should that money be going that the school is giving this guy? It should be going to the kids. We see that the state of Missouri has been putting more and more money into public education, and what is the result? Less test scores. The test scores are falling off, and they're worse.
So you're saying this money really could have been used in the school district, absolutely, teachers, kids, rather than just putting it in the pockets of this would-be superintendent.
If the allegations are correct, which I don't think they are, that there was something in his background that should have voided the contract altogether,
right,
then don't pay him anything. And it just baffles me that we're wasting $250,000 that should be going to a school district in need. And instead, we're doing these things, which I believe are all based upon political persuasion.
That's what I was going to say. You said you think it's all just based on politics.
I really do. And there are some members that I'm giving to the auditor who have been bullied because of their political affiliation. They've been threatened by lawsuits. They've been threatened to be not protected by certain attorneys. All of this should be coming to light here in the next couple months. I'm confident Scott Fitzpatrick working in conjunction with the Attorney General, we'll be able to get to the bottom of this.
So it makes sense, you're saying, for the state auditor to dig up what he can and then take that information and then give that. So your belief is that it will make a stronger case to take to the Attorney General, who in this case would be Catherine Hanaway.
This is how the process should play out. You've got the state auditor who is supervising all of the different tax dollars in the state of Missouri. Let them do the investigation. Let them do the audit. And I'm confident that he'll get to the bottom of it. Take that case file to the Attorney General and say, here's what we found. Maybe he'll find that it all played out like it should. I don't think that's going to be the case. And hopefully with Catherine's experience as a district attorney, she'll be able to figure out